Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakandam Cha Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. It was on just a minute ago. Huh.
Well, that's good.
Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyato Shri Jiva Gopalako. Who's the host? Can you put the Shikshastika on the screen? Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyato Shri Jiva Gopalako. Does everyone have it memorized by now?
Almost.
So we could just say it if everybody knows.
But does everyone have it written down in front of them?
Yeah, they do. Do you like doing the Sanskrit English? Or do you like just
I like
doing
that.
Then you know what you're saying. We'll do that.
Chetodapanamarjanam Baba Mahadavagni Vapanam Shreya Karava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Punamita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Nam nam makari bahuda nija savashakish tatrapita niyamita smarane nakala atadrisi telvakipa bhagavan mamapi durdaivam idrisha mahachan varavaga.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
Trinarapi sunichena tarorapi sahisuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari.
Someone else like to read?
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all senses of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam va jagadish kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhaktiya haituki trahi. Someone else read?
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I have desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
Ayi nandat tanujak inkaram patitam ambishame bhavam buddho kripaya tava pada pankaja stita duri sadrisham vachintaya.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
Nayanam galad ashudharaya Sadanam Gadgada Hudaya Gira Pulakaya Nichitam Vapurkada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati. Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Yugayitam nimeshena chakshusha pravishayitam sunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me.
Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
Asisya vapadaratam pinastumam adarshanam marmahatam karotu va yatatata va vidantalam pato matprananatastu saeva napara.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me. He's completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. All glories to Sri Chaitanya.
Jai, Hari Bol.
Aye.
We're starting chapter 6. His forms are one and the same. That's the title of the chapter.
Does everyone remember that this is Sanatan Shiksha? Lord Chaitanya is instructing Sanatan Goswami?
Well,
Vanaris?
we do now.
It's been a while.
I know. I forgot what we were reading. Okay. By devotional service, one can understand that Krishna, first of all, manifests himself as Svayam Rupa, his personal form, then as Tad Ekatma Rupa, and then as Avesha Rupa. Rupa means form. It is in these three features that he manifests himself in his transcendental form. The feature of Svayam Rupa is the form by which Krishna can be understood by one who may not understand his other features. In other words, the form by which Krishna is directly understood is called Svayam Rupa, or his personal form. And Tadikatma Rupa is the form which most resembles the Svayam Rupa, but there are some differences in the bodily features. The Tat Ekatma Rupa is divided into two manifestations. There's going to be quite a quiz on this, so pay attention. The personal expansion, Svamsha, and the pastime expansion, Vilasa. As far as the Avesha Rupa is concerned, when Krishna empowers some suitable living entity to represent him, that living entity is called Avesha Rupa or Saktiavesh Avatar. Okay, so Shaktivesh Avatar, everybody should know what that is. Just like Srila Prabhupada was the Shaktivesh Avatar or Avesha Rupa. It's a form of the Lord because Krishna is empowered. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is a Jiva soul, but he's empowered by Krishna to perform a certain function. And of course, he did that by spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. Want to say something?
No, there's a nice chart that I saw. I don't know if we can share a screen, or I asked Rasaraj to share a chart, but it charts all this out, and sometimes it's a little easier to think about it when you see it.
So you gave him the chart?
Well, I sent it in an email. I don't know if he got it because I don't know
Is he
how
on?
to share.
Rasaraj, are you here?
Yes, Pyari Prabhu.
Did he get that email with the link for the chart?
I'm going to check one. Yes, Mataji. Yeah. You want me to share that?
Yes, please.
Oh, there's a picture of Neela Mataji.
Huh?
That's what I got tonight class. Can you put this chart on the screen? But that is picture of Neela Mataji with a bird on her shoulder.
Oops.
Yeah, that's the chart.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, we're really good at
how did that happen?
it's electronic stuff.
'Cause I
She's going to try to look for it. But while she's looking, I'd like to go over some of this. So how many different forms are there according to this? Not exactly forms like particular incarnations, but the different types of incarnations.
2.
Anybody else? You're close. There's Swayam Rupa, his personal form, Tad Ekatma Rupa, and then Avesha Rupa. So in one sense, there's two of his Vishnu Tattva forms. The Avesha, the Ekatma Rupa is very similar to the Swayam Rupa. Swayam Rupa is Krishna's form. And Ekatma Rupa is form that has some bodily features different. And then there's the Avesha Rupa, which is, according to this, is the Swayam Rupa, Avesha Rupa Sakti Avesha Avatar. So it's an empowered incarnation. So the Avesha Rupa is the empowered incarnation. Swayam Rupa is Krishna's form, and the Ekatma Rupa is a form similar to Krishna's. Now, I will read a little further. We'll learn a little more. I'm trying to find this thing to see if Shiva can send it this time. I don't know. Maybe another picture, Neela. Okay, I'll start the next paragraph. The personal form of Krishna can be divided into two, Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakash. So they also said that there was another one that's divided into two, which is Swayam Rupa, but there are three. There are some differences in bodily features. The Tat Ekatma Rupa is divided into two manifestations. Well, the Swayam Rupa is his personal form, and that's two. Oh man, get myself confused here.
I think you have to kind of think about one and try to absorb it, and then you think of one more and its relation to that one. I sent something.
Form by which Krishna is directly understood is called Swayam Rupa, or his personal form. The Tad Ekatma Rupa is that form which most resembles the Swayam Rupa, but there are some differences in the bodily features. The Tad Ekatma Rupa is divided into two manifestations, the personal expansion, Swamsa, and the pastime expansion, Vilasa.
There we go.
Hey, we got it. Now Jiva can explain this.
Oh, yeah, right.
Can you make it any bigger?
I am trying, Pyari Prabhu. Just give me 1 second. Not sure if it's going to work, but
Yeah, even if you don't see it all, then you can move. We can start with the top. At least we'll be able to read it.
is that good?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we start at the first. First, you
Okay.
have the Swayam Rupa, Krishna in his original cowherd boy in Vrindavan. And then he expands for Leela into Swayam Prakash from this very form. And he expands into many forms, which is different than the yogis who can expand into up to 8 forms. When they expand, they're limited. They can only do what the one form does. Whereas Krishna, when he expands, he's completely independent. Each form does what it likes. Like in Dwarka, he expanded, and in each house and each palace, he was doing something different. Narada Muni was so astounded when he visited. He saw in one, Krishna's playing with the children. One, he's having some conversation with one of his wives. One, I don't know, he may be resting. And then from the Swayam Prakash, which is Krishna, he has a slight variation, like the Vaibhava Prakash, like Balaram. The only difference is his color. So there's a slight variation in the form. but the Prabhava Prakash are expansions with the same features. So you can think of the rasa dance. Each gopi thought that they were with Krishna alone, because each one looked the same, each form. And then here from the Vaibhava Prakash, like from Balaram, comes Tad Ekatma Rupa.
Which are two, right?
Yeah, and there's a variation there, but those Tad Ekatma Rupa, they may have different bodily features and moods. That's what it says here. We have the Vilas and the Swamsa. And from the Vilas come the Vishnu forms. And from the Swamsa come the others, like the Leela avatar, Purusha avatar, the Guna avatar, Shaktivesh avatars, Manvantara avatars, Yuga avatars. And even amongst those, there are so many. From the Shaktivesh avatar, we have the Vibhuti and what's he? Just avatar. Those are Shaktivesh. Right?
Yeah, 4 Kumars. The Shaktivesh is a Jiva that's empowered to do a certain function. So the others are Vishnu Tattva, but the Shaktivesh are Jiva Tattva. He doesn't have to come personally, he can just empower a pure living entity to do a specific service function.
Did you see how technical it all is? It's a real science. But amongst all the incarnations, we can remember in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Pari Sutra, first canto, chapter 3, Krishna is the source of all incarnations, text 28. Maybe some of you know it. It's called the Pari Sutra, which means it gives a general definition for the whole book. You know, it's all like summarized in this one sloka. And that's Ete Chamsa Kala Pumsam, Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam.
Indradi Bakulam Lokam
Lokam Redayanti Yuge.
Yuge.
Yes, you know the English?
Krishna is the Swayam. I don't know, last line. No, Maji.
Yeah, all
Krishna is the
above,
Bhagwan Swayam. That alone I know, yeah.
yeah, that's a famous part. All the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Shri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. So that is, you see Krishna at the top. So from Krishna comes all of these. He's known as Avatari, the source of all the avatars. He's not technically an avatar because he's the source of them. But he does descend into the material world, and therefore he's also called Avatar. And the word avatar means one who descends.
Okay, so Shaktivesh avatar, and why is this moving so much?
Maybe she's trying to get to the top.
Oh, can you move it to the left a little? Yeah, good. Okay, Shaktivesh avatar was mentioning it's empowered incarnations, but there's also other empowered incarnations. Like in the Guna avatars, Brahma is an empowered incarnation. The Manvantara avatars are empowered incarnations. But they're in a different class than just the Shaktivesh avatars. So it gets a little complicated.
Well, sometimes there's an overlapping too. Like like where is it?
What are you looking for?
Well, sometimes the Leela avatar is also Shaktivesh. No.
Yuga Avatar, Maji, Yuga Avatar.
Yeah, the Yuga avatar can also be like
Leela Avatar.
yeah. Sometimes there's an overlapping.
And all this is going to be on the test.
Can't we just remember that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of
That's
Godhead?
all, that's Krishna's too, Bhagavan Swayam. He's the source of all these.
There are
That's-
certain people who are very technical and they like to hear all the details. So it's more than anybody can possibly imagine.
I've heard this
Some
about
people-
10 times in 10 classes, but I can't remember any of this.
And some people think we believe in many gods. We're polytheistic, but actually we don't. We're mono. It's like God in many, God has expanded into many. We believe in one God. Mono.
Yes, for that we need to remember this to explain to them. I
He
agree.
expands in many ways.
Madi, actually the expansions are from Balaram only, right? Not even Krishna. Krishna just enjoys in Goloka.
Right.
Right, if you see the chart, but Balaram comes from Krishna, so we say, originally.
It's ultimately, it's Krishna.
Yeah,
But he doesn't bother with all these things. He's just the supreme enjoyer.
enjoying with Radharani and Goloka
And the cowboy boys.
and the cows.
Mataji, I have one question. Like, is that Lord Parasuram is also Sakti Avesha avatar?
What?
Lord Parasuram.
Is he Shaktivesh avatar?
I believe so. Yeah.
Mentioned here in the last line.
Oh,
Parashuram.
okay. I didn't see that, so I just asked. Yeah, I heard it once, so I just yes. Okay,
Well,
okay, Mataji.
Shesha is not Shesha is not a Jiva, is it? Ananta Shesha is but maybe not be Vishnu Tattva, but he's not an ordinary Jiva.
If you read the purport to the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 3, text 28, the verse Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa, the purport goes into the different incarnations as well. There's a lot of detail there. You can read that on your own sometime if you want to
How long is
understand it a little more. Let me see.
Well, she's going to try looking it up. But Ananta Shesha is, I would have to say, is not a Jiva,
No,
but the others are.
he's from Balaram. He's a Vishnu. But he's especially empowered divinities who represent the Lord.
Yes, that's a little confusing, Ananta Shesha. Listed with the Shaktivesha avatars. That's a pretty powerful Jiva soul if it was a Jiva. I'm quite certain. Well, I don't know. I don't know for sure. I just never thought of Ananta Shesha as a Jiva, so I'm not sure. Anybody have any more information about Ananta Shesha?
Isn't he an expansion of Shankarshana? So Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Sankarshana, and Vasudev. So I think from Sankarshana comes Sesha.
Right. But, so Sankarshan is their Vishnu expansions. So that would seem like Ananta Shesha would be Vishnu Tattva.
Yes, I thought so because Balaram takes the role of being a bet for Krishna.
Yeah, he right. But yet he's called the Shaktivesha avatar. Unless that's incorrect, and this, I don't know where this thing came from,
Just found it online. I didn't look at all this
Yeah.
detail.
So I'm not sure if that is even correct. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but Ananta Shesha being a Shaktivesha avatar. Okay. So now as we're reading on, we seem to be becoming more and more confused.
But the Lord himself can also appear as Shaktivesh, right?
Oh.
Well, he even appears as Brahma when there's no Brahma.
Oh, sometimes, but then he's not a Shaktavesh. And he's Brahma, and he's always Brahma. Brahma's listed here. Yeah, but it's also Brahma's here. One avatar.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I just want to add here that this Ganpati Govindas. So
yeah, hopefully it's something to confuse us a little more, but yeah.
Well, maybe you could shed light on that.
I know. I'm hoping you can.
Okay, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in the Lagu Bhagavatamrit, it is mentioned that the Shakti-Avesh avatars, they are of two categories. One is Avesh and one is Sakshat. Avesh is when the Supreme Lord endows a particular personality with certain potency to perform a particular pastime. And Sakshat is when he himself comes and performs a particular role. So I would think that here Ananta Shesha is within the Sakshat category, subcategory of Shakti Avesh. So there are examples of, say, for example, our Parshuram is the Avesh category of within the Shakti Avesh category. So, but
Parshuram is what?
He is Shakti Avesh, but he is Avesh. So within Shakti Avesh we have Avesh and Sakshat. Avesh is when a Jiva soul is endowed with a particular potency. And Sakshat is when the Supreme Lord himself appears and performs a particular, pastime.
As Parshuram Vishnu Tattva or Jiva Tattva?
Jiva Tattva. He is a Jiva Tattva.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought you were saying the other way.
Yeah, but Shesha, it appears that even though he is a Shakti Avesh, but he is Sakshat in the sense that he is Vishnu Tattva.
Okay, so this particular chart doesn't explain the different kinds of Shaktivesh.
Right.
But for avatar.
Prabhu, I'm not sure about Vyasadeva. Is he Sakshat or?
Yeah, so Vyasadeva is mentioned in the Lagu Bhagavatamrit that in this particular Manvantar, Vyasadeva is Narayan himself. But in other Manvantaras, Vyasa that comes is a Shakti Avesh. It's not Narayan himself. But this Manvantara is special because Krishna himself comes. So in this Manvantara, Narayan comes as Vyasadeva.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, we all have to read the Lagu Bhagavatamrita.
But I think in Prabhupada, I have to look it up about Vyas because I remember Vyas was a Jiva.
Yeah, in other Manvantaras, definitely he's a Jiva. But Lagu Bhagavatamrita, Rupa Goswami mentions that in this Manvantara, Vyasadeva is Narayan himself.
Okay. Well, I got to look that up.
But yeah, so there is that distinction too, isn't it? In some Manvantaras, when there's no Brahma to be, Krishna takes the role of Brahma. So it can be in this Manvantara that Vyasadeva is Narayan himself. I've heard that before also in some of the lectures.
Well, any other questions?
Let's go on. Maybe it'll...
In Vishnu Sahasranam comes Vyasadevaya Vishnave or something.
What was that?
In Vishnu Sahasranam, the name Vyasadeva.
Oh, I see.
But I think a lot of other names coming up too.
What, that were not Vishnu?
I mean, a lot of names.
But that means it's Vishnu. Vishnu Sahasranam, the names of Vishnu.
Mm-hmm.
So that Vyasadeva is one. Well, that's good to know. Okay. What?
I have two questions. First question is, which category Buddha would fall into?
What?
Buddha, Shaktivesh.
Right.
Is a Jiva soul, empowered.
Oh, the Jiva soul.
Yeah.
And which category Lord Chaitanya would fall into?
Swayam Bhagavan.
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam.
He's Krishna directly.
He's more than Krishna. He's Radha and Krishna.
Right.
But he's also called Lilavatar.
You could say, I mean, he comes. You could say Yuga Avatar. But he's Krishna himself. He's avatari also.
I knew we were going to get a Lord Chaitanya question from you. I know. It's good. Okay, I'll read some more. Let's see. As far as what?
I have this Laghu Bhagavatamrit with me. Can I read this? What is mentioned about Vyasadev here?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so this is page 184. It is mentioned, know that Krishna Dvaipa and Vyas is Lord Narayan himself. Who else but the lotus-eyed Supreme Lord could be the author of the Mahabharata? And this is quoted from Vishnu Puran 3.4.5 and Mahabharata Shanti Parva 334.9. This is text 83 of the Laghu Bhagavatamrit. Then text 84, it is mentioned. I'm just reading the translation. We hear from scripture that the sage Apantaratma accepted the role of Dvaipayan Vyas. Apantaratma may have united with Dvaipayan, or he may have also been a partial expansion of Lord Vishnu. Because of such statements, however, some authorities say that Dvaipayan is an Avesh incarnation. So in the purport, it is explained, it is from the Narayaniya portion of the Mahabharata that we obtain the information that Krishna Dvaipayan was the sage Apantaratma in his previous life. This sage was extremely strict in his observance of austerities. His name indicates that he managed to dispel apagata, or darkness within his heart. Because of this information, some think that Krishna Dvaipayan was an empowered Jiva, like Sanaka Kumara and his brothers. The first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapters 4 and 5, relates how Dvaipayan Vyas received from Narada the instruction to compile the Bhagavatam, in chapter 7, how Vyas then meditated on the subject of the Bhagavatam, namely Sri Krishna and his energies. Lord Brahma glorifies Srila Vyas thus. The Lord himself in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati will consider his compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent persons with short life. And thus he will divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to the circumstances of that particular age. This is quoted from Bhagavatam 2.7.36.
Okay, I have a question, one question, probably more, but one from what you read. It says, who else but an incarnation or Vishnu Tattva could write the Mahabharata? Did it say something like that?
Yeah, this is quoted, this is text 83 of the Laghu Bhagavatamrit.
Okay, but why can't Vishnu or Krishna or Balaram empower someone to write the Mahabharata? Why does it have to be Vishnu do it? If it's empowered, it's the same thing. So why did, because the Mahabharata is there, it has to be Vishnu taught, but I don't understand that.
Because only Krishna knows the past, present, and the future.
Well, pure devotees also. No. And if in what, okay, say for instance, you know something, can't you tell somebody? So if Vishnu, only Vishnu knows past, present, and future, why can't he empower his a Jiva soul who's fully surrendered to him to write those things?
Well, I'm guessing he's Paramatma in everybody's heart, so he knows all the affairs wherever it's happening, so he can compile it better than anybody else.
I'm just purport of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, as the Shaktivesh avatar Vyasadeva, Krishna teaches the conditioned soul through the Vedic literatures.
Yeah, but Shaktivesh can be Vishnu.
Oh,
or
right.
not
You said
Vishnu.
it's two. Right. Okay.
Anyway, I'm going to look up something later, and then next week if I find anything, because I kind of remember Srila Vyasadeva as a Jiva through Prabhupada's books, not the Bhagavatamrita.
Yes, in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
I'm not sure it's the Bhagavatam. I think it's the Bhagavatam, but I want to look it up. And then maybe he doesn't say for this yuga, maybe but it's, I mean, that's the only Srila Vyasadeva we know, is the one in this yuga. So anyway, gets complicated. If anybody wants to quit now. Okay.
So just continue.
Yeah, I'm going to keep reading unless someone else has something that can add to the confusion. I'm just going to start a little bit of what I already read. The Tat Ekatma Rupa is that form which most resembles the Swayam Rupa, but there are some differences in the bodily features. The Tat Ekatma Rupa is divided into two manifestations: the personal expansions, Swamsha, and the pastime expansions, Vilasa. As far as the Avesha Rupa is concerned, when Krishna empowers some suitable living entity to represent him, that living entity is called Avesha Rupa or Shaktivesh Avatar. The personal form of Krishna can be divided into two: Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakash. As far as Swayam Rupa or pastime form is concerned, it is in that form that he remains always in Vrindavan, in Swayam Rupa, with the inhabitants of Vrindavan. This personal form, Swayam Rupa, can be further divided into the Prabhava and Vaibhava forms. In case you needed some more divisions here. For example, Krishna expanded himself in multiple forms during the rasa dance in order to dance with each and every gopi who took part in that dance. Similarly, he expanded himself into 16,108 forms in Dwarka when he married 16,108 wives. There are some instances of great mystics expanding their bodily forms by the yoga process, but Krishna did not expand himself in that way. In Vedic history, Subari Rishi expanded himself into 8 forms by the yoga process, but those expansions were simply reflections, for Subari remained one, kind of like holograms. For those who watch these, some of these futuristic movies. But when Krishna manifested himself in different forms, each and every one of them was a separate individual. When Narada Muni visited Krishna at his different palaces in Dwarka, he was astonished at this. And yet Narada is never astonished to see the expansions of a yogi's body, since he knows the trick himself. Okay, so that's the end of that paragraph. I think the beginning of it is the most important part, is the Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakash. As far as his Swayam Rupa, pastime form, is concerned, it is in that form that he remains always in Vrindavan. So that's the most important form, Swayam Rupa. But the personal form, Swayam Rupa, can be further divided into Prabhava and Vaibhava forms. During the rasa dance, he expanded to dance with each gopi, and he expanded to dance to be with each of his wives, 60,108 in Dwarka. Okay. Any questions or comments on that? What did that say?
I don't know, Malati Priya posted something.
Chat.
What is that?
That's probably from the.
Just about Vyasadeva, it's from Vishnu Sahasranam, that sloka I posted that.
Oh, incarnation of Vishnu, but that includes Shaktivesh, they're called incarnations. So it doesn't mean he's Vishnu. Just by that.
Oh, well, by that, what it's saying. Did everyone hear Jiva?
Yes.
Okay. Wait.
If we can learn some of the meanings of
Right,
these
do it.
words, I think it would help us to remember. You know, Swayam, I believe, is original. Rupa is form. So
Rupa's form.
Swayam Rupa, Krishna's original form.
But you say, I think it's Swayam is original. Does anybody know if Swayam is original?
Self, I thought, Prabhu.
What?
Self. I thought Swayam was self.
Self.
Okay, where is Srinivasacharya or his daughter?
Oh, no.
Swayam. So we'd have to find out that. Anyway, I'm going to read some more because we don't know Sanskrit. Srimad Bhagavatam describes Narada Muni's astonishment at seeing Krishna's expansions in Dwarka. Narada wondered how the Lord was present with his queens in each and every one of his 16,108 palaces. Now I'm thinking Narada Muni was astonished by this. I just think as devotees here in Kali Yuga, we kind of think the Lord can do anything. That's like, that doesn't seem like such a hard thing. I mean, for God. So, but I guess he just never saw that before, you know. But he saw plenty of yogis doing these other things. Anyway, with each queen, Krishna himself was in a different form, acting in different ways. In one form, he was talking with his wife. In another form, he was petting his children. And in another form, he was performing some household duties. These different activities are conducted by the Lord when he is in his emotional forms, which are known as Vaibhava Prakash expansions. Similarly, there are other unlimited expansions of Krishna's forms, but even when they are divided or expanded without limit, they are still one and the same. There's no difference between one form and another. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada explains, like you have a candle. You have hundreds of candles, but only one is lit. And with that one, you light the other candles. Or you light one of the other candles, and that candle lights another candle. But one is the original, and that's Krishna. He's the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, but all the candles are each one candle power. Krishna is the original form, and he has some special features that none of the other forms have. I don't know why this thing keeps coming up. Okay. There's no difference between one form and another. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Personality of God. You have a comment or did you look something up?
No, it's self. Swayam self.
Swayam means
Mataji, I was
self.
looking at Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu means first Manu, it says. So Swayam can also mean first, I think. So that's why
Yeah.
Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. The first Bhagavan is Krishna. So I think it means first here.
Yeah, in Sanskrit, a word has so many different, completely different meanings. Stupid thing, I gotta find out why this comes up. I need help with my computer. Okay, in Srimad Bhagavatam, I have no idea what time it is. 10, 39, 44 to 57. So it's the 10th canto, 39th chapter, and it's 13 verses about. It is stated that when Akrura was accompanying Krishna and Balaram from Gokula to Mathura, he entered the waters of the Jamuna River and could see all the planets of the spiritual sky. He also saw the Lord in his Vishnu form, as well as Narada and the four Kumaras who were worshiping him. As stated in the Bhagavad Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47, Anyecha samskritatmano vibhina vihitenate yajanti tvam mayastvam vai bahur mortyeka mortikam. The Supreme Lord's many worshippers, the Vaishnavas or Aryans, are purified by the various processes of worship they perform according to their convictions and spiritual understanding. Each process of worship involves understanding different forms of the Lord, as mentioned in the scriptures. But the ultimate idea is to worship the Supreme Lord himself. So Gita Mala mentioned that earlier. We just have to worship Krishna. We don't have to necessarily know all these things. It's almost like we can be very, very simple, just worship Krishna. We can go back home, back to Godhead. Some people have different types of minds, and they have to be engaged in some sort of figuring things out. So there's plenty in the spiritual realm to figure out if you have that type of mind. It's nice to know for preaching. It's certainly nice to know if you have that type of mind to remember all of these things. But if you can't, it shouldn't be discouraged, because just remembering Krishna is all you have to do. Prabhupada said you could forget everything, just remember Krishna. That's all you have to remember.
But we also should have the faith that Lord Chaitanya spoke this to Sanatana Goswami, so it's important. And Srila Prabhupada writes about it in his books. So it's important. It's good for us to hear and try to understand as far as we can.
Well, it's purifying to hear. It doesn't mean everyone has to really have a grasp
Yeah.
of the whole matter, but
it's important. It's in his books. Everything
it's
in his
important
books.
it's important, I would think, for certain people who have to have more, I don't know if it's evidence. It's different types of people. Somebody doesn't have to know all of this.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but just the fact that it's here, and just the fact that
Because
Lord Chaitanya
Prabhupada is
spent the
preaching and
time.
giving everything to everyone.
Yeah.
So there's all different types of people, and everything is there. You can be really very intellectual,
But it doesn't mean that we should necessarily jump over it. I think it's good for us to
we
hear
should
everything
certainly
that he
read it,
says.
try to understand it, but don't feel discouraged if you can't get it.
Right.
That's all.
There's a lot of things our tiny brain can't understand. And this is showing our limited capacity.
It also shows that Krishna can never be understood. Huh?
And all of this, could be revealed as we advance in our bhakti. Just like Akura, he was in the water and everything was shown to him.
Not just everything, because even in Krishna's mouth, everything was shown to Mother Jashoda, but she was seeing the material world also. Well, it's not really material because it was always relation to Krishna.
And it was overwhelming. And I remember all that she could do was offer obeisances to the Lord, understanding his greatness for the obeisances.
And then she was covered by what?
Yogamaya.
Jai, by Yogamaya, and she saw Krishna as her little baby, and she had to take care of him, and she fed him, and she was so happy. Okay, where are we up to? Oh yeah, I read that. Okay, in his Vaibhava Prakash feature, the Lord manifests himself as, anybody want to say? Vaibhava Prakash. He manifests himself as Balaram. The Balaram feature is as good as Krishna himself. The only difference being that Krishna's bodily hue is blackish and Balaram's is whitish. The Vaibhava Prakash form was also displayed when Krishna appeared before his mother Devaki in the four-handed form of Narayan, just when he entered the world. Then, at the request of his parents, he transformed himself into a two-handed form. Thus, he sometimes manifests four hands and sometimes two. The two-handed form is Vaibhava Prakash, and the four-handed form is Prabhava Prakash. Here. The two-handed form is Vaibhava Prakash, and the four-handed form is Prabhava Prakash. Not Vaibhava or four-handed Prabhava. In his personal form, Krishna is just like a cowherd boy, and he thinks of himself in that way. But when he is in the Vasudeva form, he thinks of himself as the son of a Kshatriya and feels like a Kshatriya, a princely administrator. So sometimes he feels like he's in the Vrindavan, and sometimes he feels more like Dwarka. First, he's a cowherd boy, or he's a Kshatriya. So in his two-handed form, as the cowherd son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna fully exhibits his opulence, beauty, wealth, attractiveness, and pastimes. Indeed, in some Vaishnava literature, it is found that sometimes in his form as Vasudeva, he becomes attracted to his form of Govinda in Vrindavan. Well, that's pretty nice. Thus, as Vasudeva, he sometimes desires to enjoy as Govinda does, although the Govinda form and the Vasudeva forms are ultimately one and the same. In this regard, there is a passage from the Lalita Madhava 419, in which Krishna addresses Uddhava as follows: "My dear friend, the form of this cowherd boy Govinda attracts me. Indeed, I wish to be like the damsels of Braja, who are also attracted by this form of Govinda." That's the quote. So he told Uddhava that he's attracted to this form of Govinda when he was as Vasudeva. And now he'd like to enjoy that form as the damsels of Braja do. Similarly, later in the Lalita Madhava 834, Krishna says, "Oh, how wonderful it is! Who is this person? After seeing him, I am so much attracted that I now desire to embrace him, just like Radhika." Okay, I'm going to read one more paragraph because we don't have time to read any more. What time is it? Do we have time to read one more paragraph?
7:57.
Oh, no.
Unless there's
I'll end
questions.
here. Does anybody have questions, comments?
Prabhu, isn't Krishna himself attracted by Krishna? Krishna himself is attracted by him.
Yes, he is. He's seen his features. Yes. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Because normally, when you look in a mirror and you're just so attractive, I am so beautiful. I can't believe how attractive I am. This form of mine. Normally that's like somebody who's really conceited, and you don't want to have anything to do with such a person. And you picture somebody looking in the mirror thinking, "I'm so beautiful. I can't believe how beautiful I am. I'm so attractive. Wow. I'm attracted to my form."
Prabhu, you say Balaram is just different in color with Krishna, but sometimes they have different personalities. Balaram, he was partial to Duryodhana, whereas Krishna was partial to Arjuna. They had different personalities.
Yeah, they definitely have different personalities,
Different pastimes.
but there's still not really much difference. Yeah, different pastime. Balaram also has gopis he dances with, and He plays the flute too.
Buffalo horn.
Plays the flute.
Might have a flute too.
Say something, Jiva. I'm writing this stuff down for next week.
Oh,
So as Vasudeva, who do they mean by Vasudeva here? Not as father, right? Is it?
Oh,
no.
That's
No.
Vasudeva.
That's Vasudeva. Yeah.
Vasudeva.
So this is the Chaturbhuja expansion Vasudeva, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's 10 subject matters. And the 10th subject matter is known as Ashraya. And that's all the others expound on what comes from the Ashraya. Ashraya is Krishna. Krishna is Tu Bhagavan Swayam. They all rest upon Krishna. And all this comes from Krishna. And but ultimately it rests within him. It's all manifested from him. Like we said, Krishna Tu Bhagavan Swayam. He's the original. And unlimited, he has unlimited energies, he has unlimited expansions, unlimited incarnations. It's beyond our comprehension. But like little Saraswati, she would ask people, do you know who Krishna is? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And her preaching was perfect. Prabhupada said, even this little girl is preaching.
You preach
That's
according
the
to
name.
your abilities. And you preach according to your realizations. That's really important. It's what you actually understand. Now, like, when I say realizations, it's not like I can realize all these different incarnations, but at least in my mind, if I'm going to be preaching about this, I should have some understanding of this. But we preach according to our realization. We preach, I'm not this body. We have some realizations, how I'm not this body. That's a very easy thing to explain. And believe it or not, for most people, that's like amazing to be thinking that you're not this body. It's like really wonderful realization. So you preach according to your realizations. I find sometimes people preach according to what they hear others say, even though they don't really realize it themselves or really have a good, clear understanding of it. But they kind of repeat. Repeat is okay, but then someone asks a question and you can't even answer it. So we should really have a good understanding, and that's what we should be preaching.
It just shows how unlimited and amazing and wonderful Krishna is. All this comes from him, but he still can just enjoy.
And also faith is important, right, Mataji? Arjuna says, Parabrahma, Paramdama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam, Divyam Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum Yarda Adi Deva. He says, and I'm just not saying this, but even great sages like Narada, Asita, and somebody else, he says, have spoken this about you.
Faith?
Faith is important.
Faith, of course. Without faith, you can't get anything.
Yeah. He said, you yourself has spoken, it's Guru Sadhu Shastra. We could never understand all of this. We're fortunate we receive all this knowledge from Prabhupada.
Without faith, you're not going to get any realization.
That's the beginning. Ado Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya.
That's when Krishna reveals himself to you in different degrees, when you have faith.
Right. Realization corresponds to the nature of one's faith. He says that to Brahma.
Krishna Mataji.
What?
Sorry, Prabhu. I didn't know.
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, his brother-in-law, Gopinath, was saying how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya didn't really believe that. And but then after some time, he actually accepted that Lord Chaitanya was non-different than Krishna. And at that time, when he finally had faith in Lord Chaitanya, at that instant, Lord Chaitanya revealed his Sadbhuja form, his six-armed form, the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So before that, it was just an intellectual game or intellectual exercise, but it wasn't really anything spiritual. When he finally accepted, then Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to him that he is non-different from Krishna, non-different from Lord Ram. And so we have to have faith, and that then the realizations will come. Otherwise, there's no question. It's just some mental exercise.
And the level of one's advancement in spiritual life is measured by the degree of one's faith. One is known as Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama, according to the development of one's faith. Even the Christians have the saying that faith moves mountains. Faith can move mountains. You know, it's a development. You know, we start with a little faith, and from there.
Right. Actually, that's exactly how it works. You have a little faith, Krishna gives you some realization, then you have more faith. I mean, we may not get the same realization of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming and revealing himself in his Sadbhuja form, and I don't think we're ever going to doubt anything unless but we do get realizations. And those are the things that keep us fixed in Krishna consciousness. They're the things that keep us where we're never going to go to anything else. And we have to keep remembering those realizations that Krishna has given us. And they all come from faith. So important. And how do you develop faith? Jiva, how do I develop faith?
Association, sadhusanga.
You develop faith by associating with those who have faith.
Bhajana kriya. Hearing, chanting.
Like the cobbler who believes that you can thread the elephant through the eye of the needle.
Right. And that's why he's going back to Godhead in this life. And the Brahmin, the smart Brahmin, is going to take 100 births because he didn't accept it. How can Krishna put an elephant through the eye of a needle? And it's not just faith, but it's understanding. Not like, oh yes, I believe Krishna can do anything. But he had the understanding that, of course he can do it. If he can put this big oak tree in this little acorn, why can't he put an elephant through the eye of a needle? So there's realization. It's not just based on just blind faith. It's not blind faith. Blind faith isn't going to help. But you have to have it based on some understanding. So associate with those who have faith, and the faith will become stronger. Okay, we already went over.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have a very quick question. So you mentioned that Krishna was looking at his mirror to, and astonished by his beauty. What does it say? Is it in Bhagavatam?
He didn't actually look in the mirror. He saw his reflection in the palace floor. There's a picture. Is it Nectar Devotion?
I think it might be the Nectar Devotion. But I definitely read it. And when I read it, I was thinking of like, that sounds like a really horrible person. I'm just so attracted. I can't believe how beautiful I am.
That shows how attractive he is.
For Krishna, it's the truth. It's not any lie or misconception. Whereas for a regular individual, it's like, how can you be attracted to this? I'm so beautiful. And even for a regular individual, even if they are so beautiful, it's so temporary. Then if you look at your face another week and you got a pimple.
Allergies and the skin sagging, and
Yeah, just look at the pictures from now, from when you're old to when you were younger. You know, it's like, wow, yeah, then I look pretty good, but
But he
it's so
surprised
temporary.
himself too.
What?
He surprised himself, didn't he?
Yeah, he was surprised at his
He's
own
like
beauty.
walking along and whoa, you know, who's that?
Wow, pretty good.
I mean,
Reminds me, it was Ala Janmashtami one day, and me and Chaitanya Leela, we were dressing Radha and Krishna, and then she was dressing Krishna, and she had him undressed, and she goes, "Oh, you know," she was just, "He's so beautiful." No, it's just it reminds me of that. It's just that surprise, you know. Oh, you know, it was nice.
Somebody was saying something?
Sorry, I interrupted.
It's just a picture of Krishna seeing himself.
Yeah,
Oh,
someone
that's
painted
that
that.
well, it's
Oh, yeah.
the calendar, the May month calendar, you can see that.
On this year's calendar?
Or ISKCON calendar, May month. It says, gazing at his reflection, Krishna marvels, who else has ever manifested such sweetness, which astounds anyone to see it. Enchanted by my own beauty, greedy to enjoy it like Srimati Radharani.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
It's a month of May calendar. The picture.
And then what did he do?
After he marveled, huh?
Yeah, what did he do?
He admired himself.
I shared it, Pyari Prabhu. I shared the picture.
Right, it's the same picture, okay, but it's not in this calendar.
Do you know where in Nectar Devotion?
No, you have to look at it.
After he marveled himself, he knew it was himself. I think. Like, remember Srila Prabhupada said, can Krishna carry, somebody asked him, can Krishna carry not make a mountain or stone or something that's too heavy for him to carry. And then he said, yes, he can. And then he can carry it or something.
Yeah, and then he can lift it.
Then he can lift it, yeah.
You can make it too heavy, you can't lift, and then he can lift it.
Then he can lift it, yeah. So just like this, he marvels at himself and then he knows that it's himself.
So, Prabhu, what did he do after that when he saw that he's so beautiful?
He chanted Hare Krishna.
We don't remember. We have to look it up.
I don't know anything he did after that.
Time ago.
He just, the whole thing is, he did
Just
say
marveled.
something about it. He was marveling about his beauty. He's so beautiful, he's thinking. It
Yes,
doesn't
Prabhu.
say, then he got up and he went and he took prasadam.
No, probably for a minute he thought, who's this person in this reflection? He looks so beautiful like that. He didn't necessarily think it was him, you know.
So,
In this, here it says, I am ready to enjoy it like Srimati Radharani. That's what he was thinking.
Come again, Mataji.
I am greedy to enjoy it like Srimati Radharani.
Oh, okay. So he did know. Okay.
That makes
yes,
sense.
and then we read in, I don't know about what Srimad Bhagavatam says, but Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that when Krishna was looking at his reflection, he was thinking how beautiful I am. So, and then another says that his beauty was like every moment is getting multiplied by millions of times. And looking at his beauty, Radharani's joy was getting like, it's a competition. Like Radharani's joy was increasing one side and Krishna's beauty was increasing other side. So he was saying, alas, only Radharani can release my beauty. I cannot. And thinking about that, he came as Lord Chaitanya to release his beauty.
This one is, he sees a shadow reflection. Oh, this from Lalita Madhava. One day, Krishna happened to see the shadow of his beautiful form reflected on the jeweled foreground. Upon seeing his bodily reflection, he expressed his feelings. How wonderful it is that I have never seen such a beautiful form. Although it is my own form, still, like Radharani, I am trying to embrace his form and enjoy celestial bliss. This statement shows how Krishna and his shadow reflection are one and the same. There's no difference between Krishna and his shadow reflection, nor between Krishna and his picture. That is the transcendental position of Krishna. Anyway, we can look at
I remember the first time I saw a picture of Krishna, and it was Krishna, you know, Supreme Personality, and I thought it looks like a girl. It looked like a boy or a man. It looks like a girl, which
Prabhupada says in somewhere, I don't know, but he says if a man has a features and then a slightly, if he has feminine features, he looks very handsome, he says. So Krishna is like that, I guess.
yeah, he doesn't have, he's not like muscular, you know, is with the, you see the men, they lift weights and they show, and they have these muscles. He doesn't have muscles.
He has slender arms and yeah.
And he has butter fat.
It's butter fat, but with those butter fat arms, he can use a finger and knock over somebody who has these big, huge muscles. And
Kamsa.
yeah, Kamsa. He's a little boy, and Kamsa is this huge king killing so many people. You know, big battles. No match for Krishna. And then he dragged them around the arena after he killed them.
Prabhu, you're going to go all night, Prabhu?
Yeah, I think so. I was sending a while back. Okay, let's offer our obeisances to all Vaishnavas. Thank you all for
His Grace Pyari Mohan Prabhu, Her Grace Mother Jiva ki
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.